Hi, I'm Jackie and welcome back to my channel, My Magical Home. I hope that you're ready for some St. Patrick's Day inspiration because today I'm taking you along with me as we make 4 DIY decor pieces. And best part, they're all incredibly budget friendly. So we are going to be making some absolutely adorable signs. I'm also going to be taking those St. Patrick's Day coins you see at Dollar Tree and giving them more of a realistic makeover. And we're going to be making a pot of gold decor piece that you can use anywhere around your house to bring in that St. Patrick's Day luck and fun. Now, I hope that you will stay tuned. If you haven't already joined my YouTube family, I hope that you will consider hitting that button down below. It is totally free and it helps out my channel and lets them know that you are digging what you're seeing. Either way though, don't forget to say hi and let's get started. So for our first DIY today, we are going to be making a moss-covered slonge sign for my bar cart. Now, if you're wondering what the heck does slonge mean, it's cheers in Gaelic. It also actually translates to health and it can be known also as slàinte. Now, we're just going to keep it short and sweet and do slàinte, but this is actually one of the projects that I loved the best today. It's one of my total favorites. I hope that you will stay tuned and check it out. So I picked this sign up at Dollar Tree a couple years ago and I just kind of kept it around because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with it. And what I started out by doing is taking a little bit of twine that I actually already had on hand. I honestly don't even know where I got it. I've had it for years. And I used it to twine around the base of all of these shamrocks. I recognize in nature that they would be green, but this is what I had on hand, so I worked with it. Now, I did use hot glue to secure this, and I made sure to take each strand of the twine and keep it very taut next to the other one so that I didn't have any of the color of the wood peeking through. Now, once this was all done, I came in with some moss and I'm just kind of hot gluing it into the little shamrock pieces. I'm not really worrying about keeping it incredibly neat because we are going to clean it up in just a little bit. But when I was first starting this, I kind of didn't know how this project was going to go. And as I started to see the moss coming on here and I realized how easy it is to add moss to something, I got really excited. Not just for this project, because now I just want to put moss on everything. I mean, it was so easy. All I did was stick the hot glue on there, come in with a bunch of moss, push it in really well, and it stayed perfectly. I do, as you saw in one of my tips, recommend using a low temperature gun so that you don't burn your hands. Being an accidental masochist, or I guess a lazy person that just doesn't do the work, I used a hot temperature glue gun, which is why you might see a couple times that my fingers kind of fidget. But I really didn't actually have very many times of touching the glue because the moss kind of patted it in between. So you can see here how the moss comes to the outside of the shamrocks and how I already trimmed one. And it really just helps to give the definition because otherwise this kind of looks like a mangled wreath. But once you come in here with the scissors and you detail all of these little shamrocks, it really comes to life and these shamrocks look incredible. Once I got the sign all trimmed up, it was time for me to paint the banner. Now, if you're doing this at home, I recommend you doing this first so that you do not have to work around the moss. It was a little bit tedious, but at the same time, you know, things happen, hindsight's 20/20, so it is what it is. Now, to do this process, what I'm starting off with is painting the entire thing with a white creamy base. Now, once that's done, I'm going to take a darker brown and a tan that I have on the side and mix the colors. And I'm going to take them on my brush where I feel like the crease in the ribbon is going to be. And you'll see I just kind of pull it to the side. And once I do that, it actually creates the illusion that there's some kind of a curve and a bend in that banner. You know, you could do it where you have all those colors mixed together at first, or do it like I did here, where you just take in the darker and then bring the other lighter colors over top. But either way, I feel like it made the sign look so nice, and I actually did bring in some of those colors and kind of blend them into the middle too to kind of give it some of those tones that way it matched better. And then these are some gold letters that I cut out from some vinyl from Walmart. Now, I still feel like this was incredibly budget friendly because I paid $6 for the vinyl and I still have the majority of it. I used 2 inches to complete this project. But you will notice that I'm putting these letters on one at a time, and that is because with the curve of the banner, I felt like it was going to be askew if I didn't. Now, I did kind of readjust the S. I wish I'd probably started a little bit over because of the flourish, but it is what it is. I am so happy with this project. I then brought in some wire and just kind of twined it around the top, made a little hook to hang it with, and this project was done. I can't tell you how much I love it. I think this could actually be my favorite DIY that we're doing today. All right, I cannot wait to hear your guys' opinions on this sign. As I said earlier, this is my favorite DIY, or at least there's another one that comes in a close second, but I love the way the moss turned out, and I feel like with the blue of my bar cart area, this is just gonna pop. So anyways, let me know what you think, and it is time to get started on our second DIY where we are going to be aging those golden coins. And the way that I look at this, a leprechaun's coins have been around for so long, right? I mean, we're looking for ancient treasure when you're looking for leprechaun treasure. So those coins have some wear and tear. They've probably been rubbed down. Gold, if you don't know, is a very soft metal. So that's why they actually have in movies where the people bite it. It's because it is super soft. So I want all of that to resonate in my realistic leprechaun coins. So stay tuned. As you can see, I have 2 coins here that I had already done previously because I wanted to get an idea of the process of what I was doing. Now, step 1, we are going to take this pointy little drill bit, I don't know its name, and we are going to scuff out any of the words that are embossed, like the serial numbers, made in China marks, anything like that that I felt like might take away from the authenticity of my leprechaun coins. Now, after this process was done, I did come in with a sanding bit and I just kind of scuffed up the entire coin. And by doing this, I tried to make some of them look more worn than others. And the idea in my mind is that if these coins have been around for thousands of years, this leprechaun has been holding on to these. Maybe some of them got rubbed for luck and it kind of rubbed them down. Maybe one of them got ran over by a carriage. Or, you know, it's new ages. Maybe one got ran over by a train or a car. But you certainly wouldn't just leave your gold coin afterwards. So I wanted these coins to look like they've been through some things. And so after I was done with this sanding Dremel bit here, I did come back over it with some sandpaper itself and just kind of like smooth out any of the plastic bits that had kind of gotten roughed up by the Dremel, as well as just kind of try to make it kind of a smoother, like gentler look to the coins. So these are my scuffed up coins. I'm going to take them outside and just go over them with some simple gold spray paint. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to be adding some extra colors on top to give them a little bit more depth and color. All right, so we are back with our spray painted coins, and now I'm just coming over with some brushed bronze. I accidentally called it, I think, antiqued bronze earlier, but it's actually called brushed bronze, and it's a folk art color. And I'm just trying to get the nooks and crannies. Some of them I added a little bit more than others, but overall I'm not trying to cover the entire coin as much as embellish it and create the slightest variations in color. Once this actually dried, it came out perfect because it really doesn't even have as dramatic of a look as it does on camera. It just looked like aged and worn just ever so slightly, because you don't want to be too dramatic with your gold. While it is a very soft metal, which is why I did do some of that drilling, it doesn't have the same metal oxidation as you would find in something like aluminum or copper or something of that sort. So I wanted that to reflect in this. I like to make things as real as possible looking. I would love to hear what you guys think of this project, and I'd also like to state that if I was doing this for doubloons that had maybe been under the water, I would probably be giving this a different finish right now. I'm going to give some thought into that, but I have a feeling that we will be revisiting this when Halloween comes. I could not tell you how impressed I am with how these gold coins turned out. I can't wait to try this around Halloween and try it with doubloons as well. But I hope that it gave you some inspiration, and make sure to stay tuned because up next I'm going to show you how I use these to make my pot of gold DIY decor piece. So let's get started. So to start out, we are going to be aging and antiquing this cute little cauldron I have left over from Halloween. To do that, we need tissue paper, hot glue, Mod Podge, pen or pencil, as well as a spongy makeup applicator or paintbrush, your choice. Now, I start out by making a design on the outside of my cauldron
that I can trace over with some hot glue so that we give an embellishment that is kind of raised up off the cauldron. I feel like this adds a really cool look to it. And I decided to do a Celtic shamrock to keep with that St. Patrick's Day theme. Now, once that shamrock was completely done, I come back through with Mod Podge, and I am just going to start layering it on and adding the strips of tissue paper over. And I really take a lot of extra time to work on the area where I have that embellished design, because you want to make sure and push everything down and make sure that it's really well covered and that all of your accents are showing as you're doing it with this tissue paper part, or you might actually kind of take away from that design you worked so hard on. Now, after that, I am just going to continue coming in, layering layers of this little pink tissue paper with my Mod Podge. Now, it does take a little bit of time, but really it's pretty easy. The things that you just need to keep in mind are you want to make sure that that tissue paper is completely smoothed to the outside of your cauldron, and you want to make sure that you don't leave any black showing. Now, once I came to the outside rim, because you can only do so much at a time, I made sure to come in and stick pieces of paper that kind of came around the lip, but then kind of extended straight on the outside. And I did that so that I could come in, trim off any extra tissue paper, and use my applicator to kind of push and mold that down and smooth it out without having to come in and bring new pieces of tissue paper, because I was kind of worried that that might affect my texture and change the way that things were looking. So I am just going to go ahead and just carefully make sure that that is entirely glued down around the edges, because we don't want our awesome antiquing and looking to come back up. Now, once that's done, I'm going to be going back through and adding a matte black coat. Now, it did take me a couple coats to make it completely covered, but don't worry, just take your time, let it dry in between, and you can use, this is just a very simple, inexpensive black matte craft paint that I picked up at Walmart. Now, once this was completely done, I came back through with an antique bronze and a dry brush, and I'm just going to kind of put it anywhere that I feel like I'd like those embellishments to really show, or to bring a little bit of light to the cauldron. Now, you're probably looking at this and being like, girl, you just made that four-leaf clover look terrible. Don't worry. I'm going to be coming back in and accenting it with the black, taking away that gold anywhere I don't want it. This is incredibly forgiving, guys, because if you don't like the way that it looks, just cover it back with the black and try again. So I did feel like this turned out really cute, and I was very, very excited about it and the way that it turned out. I would love to hear your guys' opinions. You guys will see as it comes together in just a second. I feel like it is just the perfect addition for my St. Patrick's Day decor. So it is time for the fillers for our cute little cauldron, and I am just taking some shish kebab sticks, and I am adding some of those little gold coins that we aged earlier to 2 of the sticks. I feel like it is just going to help give a really cute look and give that gold popping out, but I also wanted to fill my cauldron with moss because, as we know, St. Patrick's Day is all about the green. So I am just using some reindeer moss that I picked up at Dollar Tree, and I'm adding some twinkle lights that I've had laying around, but they're very small sets, so they're inexpensive if you're looking for them. I then come in and bring 2 shamrock picks that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I am going to cut these little gold sticks so that they are not too high, and I'm just going to kind of layer everything in, leaving 1 antique gold piece to add to the bottom as well. So you can tell that underneath in that glowing moss, it's filled with more and more of this treasured gold. I don't know, I made this for my coffee bar. I feel like it was just a really cute way to add something special. I did come back in and bring in just a pick of some little shamrock plants that I had from Michael's from long ago, and I feel like it just really completed the vibe.
So this was my other favorite piece, and I would love to get your opinion and hear what you think of it down below. I absolutely adore getting to refinish these cauldrons. I feel like it gives us such a unique flair, and it's so easy and cost effective. And then getting to add the lights in my moss and add the gold coins, this is going to look absolutely perfect in my coffee bar area. If you guys decide to try something like this, let me know down below, and I would love if you tag me on Instagram for anything that you're doing so that I can cheer you along in all of your fun and creativity.
And it is time for our last DIY. Now this one's incredibly simple. I have this board that I picked up from Dollar Tree. Now it was one of their more expensive items. It was about $3, but it's pretty good sized, so I felt like it was definitely worth it. Now I'm just going to cover this entire side with green paint, and I did get a little on the edges, but I do come back later off camera and sand that off, because the best part about signs like this, you can use them for more than one purpose. So I will be coming back in the spring and redoing the other side of this sign for my spring decor. Now, anyways, so I'm going to come in and make sure that that green completely covers my entire sign. And then it is time to bring in my very simple embellishment. So to embellish this sign, I have this little metal sign that my dear friend Sarah picked up for me from Dollar Tree. And as you can see, it does have my initial for my family in the middle, and I feel like that makes it so special and just kind of helps to make this a really fun piece. And I'm just going to start out by taking these little pieces that you use to hang the shamrock off of and kind of pushing them to the back and flattening them as much as possible so that they don't hinder this project in any way, shape, or form. After that, it is time to paint this baby, and we are just going to be going over with a simple coat of gold paint. You can get these little cans like this in the paint area, like the craft paint area at Walmart, and they're very inexpensive, so you don't have to pay for buying a whole thing of gold. Once it's dry, I put some adhesive glue on the back of it and just simply applied it to the front of the sign. And while it is simple, it goes perfectly in my kitchen because I have other green and gold detailed signs, as you can see, and I couldn't be happier with something that was so simple and yet so inexpensive.
So this is actually the last DIY that I'm going to show you today, but these are the other two signs that I had previously made for my coffee bar area. Don't they just look perfect? And I love when I'm able to come in New Year and add something that just flows with everything else. So I hope that you really enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to let me know what you think down below. And as my little sign here says, let the shenanigans begin. See you next time for some more St. Patrick's Day motivation. And I've got a whole bunch of other fun coming your way too.